Hi guys, James here, and I've got Tim Hart on the other end of this Zoom session. And Tim and I go back a long way. Tim's one of the
Mm,
first people that bought my course. Must be 5 years ago, Tim, I reckon.
yeah, at least. Yeah, probably more. I think whenever you started selling your pack, I was definitely one of the first people to buy
Wow, that's amazing. And
it.
Tim's done some incredible deals, but this deal particularly, I was chatting to Tim the other day about it. And it's interesting because I looked at this property in Caboolture probably 2 years ago because I've got a property up there, as you know, that shopping centre I've got. So Tim, let's
Mm,
and I know this property they're asking $5 million, I think. So let's have a quick
mm.
chat about how this came about and what your plans are for this deal.
Sure. So yeah, sort of about 18 months ago is when I found this property. It was relatively new to market. They had just some recent vacancies. It was previously there, right in the corner. You can see there was actually a pawnbroking business, and they actually did so well there. Yeah, just in there that they actually went and bought their own premises elsewhere. So it was vacant. They're on the market for 5 mil. We came in and offered them 4 million. And they rejected the offer, and they sort of countered and said, "Look, we'll take 4.5, but nah, that's sort of our bottom price." I just kind of left it. I did another couple of deals in the meantime, and sort of came back to them 12 months later and sort of said, "Look, I've bought another couple of centres, and we're in the market again. Are you guys prepared to kind of meet the market?" And long story short, they finally agreed to sell it to us for the $4 million. And it was a particularly good price. I mean, one, it's sort of looking at a fully let net income is going to be pretty close to that 400,000 mark, so pretty close to a 10% yield that we'd be buying it on. But the other really good thing that happened is that the current vendor's bank, National Australia Bank, their facility expired, and so the bank went and got a fresh valuation done for mortgage purposes. So they contacted one of the big panel valuers that they use, and they went out and did a valuation, and it actually came back at 4.2 million. And I've got the valuation. I've read through it. It's very, very conservative. So that's how we knew. Yeah, we picked it up for an absolute great price. And with this one, there's not a much to do with the actual centre itself. It just needs, those 3 vacant shops need to be leased up. But otherwise, there's not too much more to do with it. We are also looking at renting the roof space to put some solar panels on, and
Yep.
then sell the power to the tenants and the like. And you can see there that it's anchored by a Spar supermarket. They're
Yep.
trading really, really well. We've also got in there your real staples, like your bakery, your bottle shop, Thai takeaway, pizza shop, a coin laundromat. So just, yeah, really sort of those defensive kind of tenants, I guess, that we really like buying, that do well in the good times and the bad.
Wow.
And so it really serves as quite a good area, and it's yeah. If you can go to the next slide, really has the real detail of how well it's positioned, I suppose, and where we see the growth in it. You can see on the left-hand side there, I've kind of got that map of Australia, and you can sort of see it smack bang in between Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. And I know you probably know the area very well, James, but those that are listening in might not know, but you can sort of see it smack bang in the middle of the two. And in that Caboolture, Morayfield area, it's very much known as a growth area.
Yeah.
And so you've kind of got Brisbane, expanding up from the north, and then Sunshine Coast is sort of coming down. So it's for those sort of that macro sort of level. It's going to see. We believe it's going to see a lot of growth. On the right hand side there, I've got more of a zoomed in version, so you can sort of see what is around it. Now, probably the most notable thing is that parkland right next to it, that big bit of green. That's actually 1.94 hectares of land that's recently been sold by the council to a developer. Now that developer, I think they went to contract maybe 12 months ago or something like that, but he's only just got his development approval. Now what he's putting in there on that site is a 30 townhouses, a 7-story retirement village, a 5-story office building, a 5-story aged care, and a 5-story, I think it's disability care or something like that. Like it's a massive development that's going, literally next door to it, which will no doubt bring in traffic and a lot of clients for the tenants as well.
Wow.
So that's why we believe it's not going to be too hard for us to find a tenants to fill up that vacant space, because they know what's going on next door. It's all very much public information, and we're actually chatting with a few doctors, so we're really hoping to get some medical in there, because I think they make great tenants. So that's a big one. The other big one is just to the right. There is the Caboolture Private Hospital.
Yeah.
Now, 3 weeks ago, the state government just announced a $353 million upgrade of the Caboolture Hospital to add more beds and the like, as well as a $46 million expansion of their car park to build another massive multi-storey car park. So that's obviously a lot of money you'll be spending in the area, but even better, it's this property is only 750 metres from it.
Yeah.
You'll see there in the top, we've got the state school, we've got the TAFE. Just to the south of the property is Caboolture train station. That's probably 400 or 500 metres away. So it's sort of really that the centre really sort of looks after that whole sort of catchment in there, and is obviously why the tenants are doing so well. So there's just a lot of work going in, a lot of money that's been spent on the areas. That's why we feel 5-10 years time this thing's going to be worth a significant amount more than what we're buying it for.
It is interesting when you look at these aerial maps. I know when everyone's searching online, you sort of see all these things that you've just mentioned. But I know that one thing's always a bit of a fear with people, and I know when I looked at the property, and I thought I'd just make mention of it because I don't see it as an issue. I see it as a positive. See the Woolworths Central Lakes shopping centre. I always prefer, if you're looking around, that one of those is actually already existing rather than they're about to build it, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
Because often you're looking at these smaller centres that are, like this one you've bought, that are, let's say a little suburban centre. And then as an investor, one of the fears is that, they're going to, build a huge Woolies or Westfield or something down the road. Well, in actual fact, if it's already existing, it generally means they're not going to build another one in any time soon. And where would they actually put it in this area anyway? But it's that thing of drawing people into this area. You've got going down this street, you've got the private hospital. Then, even if they're going to Woolies, they might be driving out of there, coming back up and think, we've forgotten something. Let's go into the spa and get it,
So it's been there a long time, and all of the tenants have been there for a long time as well. They're not just brand new tenants that have come in. And when we were doing our due diligence, and as we always do, go out and do what you taught us, and meet the tenants and go and have a chat with them, and ask them how business is going and all that sort of thing. And all the tenants glowing sort of feedback was, we're doing really, really well, and everyone's coming through. And so that was very, very positive response from all the tenants.
So, Tim, let's have a look at how you're going to make this investment really fly, because I know a lot of people, when they're looking at stuff like this, like I do, you look at things with vacancies and it can really scare people off. So let's see how much this could improve and what your plans are for it. So I'll get you to run through this little slide about that.
Yeah, sure. So for us, where we see sort of the value add, or in this case, the income add opportunities for this one, an obvious one is just leasing up the vacant space, and that's definitely the biggest one for us. You'll see in the diagram down here, highlighted in yellow, is the 3 vacancies that we've got. And so we have been chatting with a few doctors, a few medical practitioners that are looking to set up like a clinic or something like that in there, and also a cafe owner for that 12, the bottom one there, just because it's got that nice corner exposure. So what we're kind of looking at, and where the real money in this one is once we get these 3 tenancies leased up, it adds around $106,000 worth of passive income to the property. Right. So we're looking at a time frame of around 9 months that we're allocating to lease it up. We think we can easily do it within that time frame, because we are a little bit ahead of the game. We've already got our leasing guy on board looking for people. We're already talking to tenants. and we're offering an incentive around 5 months rent free. So that would be for a 5-year lease. So pretty standard sort of stuff. The other income is just your standard income uplift that you get from most commercial property is just when the lease goes up by 3 or 4% per annum. That's going to add around $22,000 of income for us over the first 24 months as well.
Wow.
So they're the two big ones of this one. There's not much more really to do with the centre than that. Just lease it up, then just sort of sit back and enjoy the cash flow and let the capital growth do its thing.
Yeah. Wow. Now, I know that you've bought this in.
It's just a standalone unit trust.
Yeah.
But the way we've set it up, it's a proper managed investment scheme. So we're operating under someone's AFSL or Australian Financial Services License group called Primary Securities. And so they hold the investment on behalf of all investors. So they're the trustee. So it just gives it a little bit more independence. And Active Commercial, which is run by myself and Wayne Revell, we're the investment managers. So we look after the investment. So we make sure it's all running well. We look after getting it all leased up and doing all the value add and that sort of thing. So it's a proper managed investment scheme. So it's designed to be a very passive investment for our investors, where they just sort of sit back and get quarterly distributions every quarter.
So essentially, I guess it's another way that someone could get involved in perhaps a larger property that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to manage, or someone that's got, some other property and then just, as you say, looking for something that's much more passive and managed by someone else. So if they want to have a chat with you, Tim, can they just pick up the phone or best to email you? What's the best?
I'm happy to. People want to call me. That's fine. Or email. My email's there as well. We put together a full information memorandum. We've also got a product disclosure statement coming soon. So we can actually accept money from anyone, not just wholesale sophisticated clients. And the minimum investment's only $10,000. So normally to get into a property like this, you're literally going to need millions of dollars. Whereas the way we're structuring it now, it's one of the advantages is that we're giving access to people who can get access to it for 10 grand. And the other big benefit as well is that we're getting the loan. So and Wayne and myself are guaranteeing the loan for the bank. So the actual investors don't have to go and get finance and all that sort of stuff. So we really see value in the commercial property space in that sort of $3 to $20 million price bracket, where there is no competition, and there's very, very few buyers. So as our specialist is going in there, negotiating on these really big deals, and getting a really, really good deal, but then being able to break it up to be able to allow smaller investors to come in and get access to these bigger deals.
Wow, fantastic.
A lot of the time we do like people to go to our website, activepropertygroup.com.au/register, just to register as an investor, and it covers off on a lot of confidentiality and that sort of thing. But then more than happy to send out the information memorandum and see all the information, and I'm happy to field any phone calls, emails, any questions you have. The only sort of thing to bear in mind is that the applications for this opportunity close on the 12th of July. So there's only a couple of weeks that this opportunity is open for. Yep. So if someone's interested, then please act now and get onto us now, because it's not going to last.
All right. Fantastic. Well, that's great, Tim. Well, look, I look forward to seeing you next one as well. I know you're working on a couple of other things. And anyone that's interested, please get in touch with Tim, and look forward to chatting soon.
Great. Thanks, James.